My privilege to recognize your achievements today. In addition to the trophy that you have received, your name will be added to a perpetual plaque displayed in County Center that lists all 25 Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award winners. And I and all of us are truly grateful for the work you've done for Hillsborough County. Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Madam Vice Chair and board members, Ms. Wise, County Administrator, staff, the committee, and all the present, thank you so very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Staff told me to show the award. Here it is. I have it. I appreciate it, and thank you so very, very much. Let me thank the committee for their honoring me for this award. I had the opportunity to serve with Mr. Simmons at TECO. I was to work at Tampa Electric Company. He was a vice president at Tampa Electric Company. I know he has family here, so I did have an opportunity to meet him and work with him for a time period while I was at Tampa Electric Company, and he left a leadership mark on all of us, whether he was on the school board, the county commission, or at Tampa Electric. And for that, and the family, I thank you. For the committee, I thank you so very much. This is an honor that I did not expect. It's probably one of the highest honors I've received because it comes from those that I've served with and people that I've worked with in this community all of my life. But one of the things that you all have heard me say before, the awards that I receive, the accolades, not something that I worked for. The work that I've done in this city, in this county, in this state, was to help those that needed me the most. I know I would never be a rich person to give back as a philanthropist, so I figured the best way to give back was to be an elected official to help those who needed it the most. And I thank those that allowed me to do that. I thank the people of the city of Tampa, those that elected me to the Florida House of Representatives, the Florida Senate, and those elected me to the Hillsborough County Commission that put their trust in a young man from then called Belmont Heights, is now East Tampa, to represent them on those levels. I did my very best to make sure that I tried to make their lives better each and every day, gave them a great place to live and a great place to work, whether it's I was on city council or the state legislature or in Hillsborough County. I want to thank those that on shoulders I stand. There were those that came before me that endured a lot, and they allowed a person. Because my phone's ringing, I apologize. They allowed this young man to come along and serve and help them in many ways I possibly could. Most of all, I want to thank my family. Thank this lady that's sitting next to me. This is my wife, Gwen Miller, who also served as city council for 16 years, but this is my wife and my best friend, who's been with me through the good times, the bad times, the sicknesses that we've had to go through together. We've stuck together and gone through a lot. And the times that I was gone, she was here to take care of the family. And I appreciate her and love her to death for that. And I thank her so very, very much. Thank my children and my grandchildren. A lot of people don't know that you go through a lot, the family sacrifices as you serve as an elected official or appointed official. Those of you that are elected understand that. The families have to sacrifice. And I want to thank her taking care of the family while I was in Tallahassee and served with the county commission, the city council, and thank my children, my grandchildren, all my family for being there with me and standing on those corners to make sure I get elected. I want to thank my late mother, my late father, my late sister, who kept this young man out of trouble. I was growing up in Belmont Heights in East Tampa. I got a lot of spankings. Even my older sister was 8 years older than I was, so to make sure that I stayed on the straight and narrow. But they always told me a couple of things. One was never look down on anyone unless you're reaching down to help them up. I've always remembered that. And they also said, never forget where you came from. I've always tried to do that. So I want to thank the committee. I want to thank you so very, very much for this honor. Thank the county commission for having me here today. I miss you a little bit. I'm just kidding. I do miss you. And I wish you the very, very best. And take care of yourselves, be safe, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Miller. We are very, very proud to honor you today. Would any of our fellow commissioners like to speak? Commissioner Hagan, I see your hand raised.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Les, it's great to see you and Gwen. Before I say something nice, I want to rib you like you always did me. Do you ever take that suit off?
I have, Commissioner Hagan. I've had it off a lot lately. Tried to put the shirt on, it's kind of tight around the neck. So I gotta get myself together.
Well, one thing's for certain, Les was always the best dressed, at least male, I've ever served with. So you got that going for you. That's why I know what you're going to say, that Gwen dresses you and picks out all your clothes. So I should compliment Gwen for that, not you. But it is great to see both of you again. I do want to thank the committee, particularly my representative, Brenda Thrower, who's not only been my appointee for a number of years, but she's chaired the committee, I think, the last 5 or 6 years. And I know that she was really behind honoring you, Les. I cannot think of a better recipient, having served with you for 10 years. I can't think of a better recipient of the Good Government Award than you. As I've said before, you're the ultimate statesman, extremely collegial, and that's evidenced by being chosen chair by your colleagues for 3 years. I'm proud to have served with you, very proud to call you my friend. I miss you. I hope you're doing well, and we definitely need to get together and catch up here one of these days. But it's great to see you and Gwen.
Thank you, Commissioner Hagan. We'll do that. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Hagan. Commissioner Myers?
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Les Miller, congratulations. You have provided stellar service to our state, county, city, and the community. I wish you the best. I did not know this was the 25th anniversary of this award, but you are very deserving of this award. Thank you for all that you have done for our community. Look forward to working with you whenever I can. And to you, Gwen, take care, Les. Les, take care, Gwen. Enjoy each other and enjoy your semi-retirement.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. I appreciate that, ma'am. Thank you so very much, and thank you for all the hard work that you're doing for District 3 and of this county. Thank you very much.
Terrific. Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Commissioner Cohen, you're recognized.
Commissioner Miller and Gwen, good morning. It's great to see you. About 20 years ago, I guess it's almost that, then Commissioner Pat Frank appointed me to be her representative to the Ellsworth G. Simmons Good Government Award. And I didn't really know much about it at the time, but I remember not just how tough the decision was that year, and I believe that was like 2002 or 2003, but the list of people that have won it over the years is just so stellar. It is such a monument to this county, the people that we have recognized. And you are right up there deserving of this award with every one of those 24. And it is just a great honor to be able to be here today to watch the County Commission bestow this award on you. And thank you for your many, many years of public service. The community is enormously grateful. And I am personally very grateful to both of you for many years of friendship and look forward to many more in the future.
Thank you, Commissioner Cohen. We appreciate it so very much, and thank you for all the working together times that we've had together to work on this community, whether you're on City Council, now in the County Commission, on your private life. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Cohen. I will save my comments for last, but we also have a special guest with us today who worked with him a great deal. And so we have the EPC Executive Director, Janet Doherty, on the line. Janet, would you like to say a few words?
I would, Commissioner, and thank you for allowing me to say a few words. Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Councilwoman. So great to see you. You look wonderful. Les just celebrated a birthday in April, and we got to talk a little bit on his birthday. But what I wanted to say, you're so deserving of this award, and I wanted from EPC to say that, and I don't know if the public knows that you served us 5 years as chair and 4 years as vice chair. And you always supported not only the agency, our employees, but the protection of the environment. You understood, Commissioner, the importance of clean air and clean water. And we just cannot thank you so much for your dedicated service. And so I didn't want the opportunity to pass without thanking you for your service, congratulating you. You are definitely deserving of winning this award and being with all those other recipients. But, and I wanted to personally thank you for helping us with our meeting space. We just got our CO, and so when you come over for Thanksgiving, we never had a meeting space at the agency that was, we couldn't socially distance in any of them. They were very small, teeny meeting spaces, and Commissioner Miller helped with that, which was very good for our agency. So you're part of our EPC family. And again, we can't thank you enough. Congratulations, and great to see both of you, and hope to see you soon, probably at Thanksgiving.
Well, Ms. Doherty, thank you so very much for those comments, and congratulations on getting that space there that you so rightfully deserve. And one of the positive things I've done in my career was hiring you as the executive director of the EPC, and you jumped in there and have not missed a beat. And I appreciate all that you do for the people of this county and trying to make things, our environment, the better place it could be. Thank you so very much.
Commissioner, I do want to thank you for everybody. He's not only one of the best public servants I've ever met in my entire life, but he's been a mentor to me. And he helped me navigate coming from private sector into public sector. And our success as an agency, my success, is indeed a lot of me calling Commissioner Miller frequently. So thank you again, sir.
Good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for those comments. It did remind me of how critically important it is for us to have leaders in the community that act as mentors. Commissioner Miller, you did help me, even though I filed against you initially because we lived down the street from each other. So it was like one of those, okay, but I'm going to try at this. And you actually helped me understand the whole definition of public service, along with a few others like Phyllis Buzansky and others. But your leadership matters so much in the sense that you fought for this community, you helped other leaders do well, and you love this community, and that was evidence in the work and the things that you actually had to put up with, especially over your last year of your term. So I just want to thank you very much for your mentorship, your guidance, and sometimes strong words. You know, we learn from each other by giving each other guidance, and your leadership on the Board of County Commission as well as within the community is truly appreciated. So I want to congratulate you again, you and your family, and Gwen and friends. And if I get a break where I have a day where I'm not doing something, maybe we can get together and chat and just catch up, because I do miss your presence. So I'm very proud to celebrate this honor with you. Thank you very, very much for being here today.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. And again, to staff, I do have it. Here it is.
All right.
Excellent. So thank you so very much. You all take care, and God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The next items on the agenda are proclamations, and I actually had two online, so this has been an interesting morning so far. I will be presenting June 2021 as the LGBTAQ Pride Month. With these recognitions, I would like to make sure that we have Mr. Kerry West, the president of Tampa Pride, with us today. Kerry?
Yes, hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, good. It's good to see you. This is an exciting time for Hillsborough County. Every year, a proclamation is presented recognizing June as the LGBTAQ Pride Month, and it was a cause, or is a cause, for celebration among all residents. Last year was a difficult year for pride organizations across the country because of the pandemic. Thankfully, this year has been much, much better. In fact, on May 22nd, the first Pride event of 2021 in the entire nation was held in Ybor City. They were the Tampa Pride Street Festival and Diversity Parade, which I believe all of us truly enjoyed and participating in. Taking all of the proper safety precautions, event organizers, staff, volunteers, residents, and visitors had a blast. These family-friendly events were a great lead-in to LGBTAQ Pride Month. Tampa Pride has done an incredible job in raising awareness of the LGBTQ rights movement. Today, I'm proud to present the following proclamation to Mr. West. And it reads, whereas lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender allies or genders, and queer or for questioning Pride Month is celebrated nationwide each year in the month of June. And whereas this month was chosen to commemorate the uprising that took place at the Stonewall Inn in Manhattan, New York, 52 years ago, on the morning of June 28, 1969, often viewed as the birth of the modern LGBTQ rights movement, and whereas it is important during this month to reflect on LGBTQ rights movement, and whereas it's fitting that several major United States Supreme Court decisions impacting LGBT rights in a positive way have been announced in June, including Lawrence versus Texas in 2003, U.S. versus Windsor in 2013, Obergefell versus Hodges in 2015, and Pavin versus Smith in 2017. And whereas this extraordinary progress, LGBTQ Americans still face discrimination simply for being who they are. And whereas Hillsborough County stands with the LGBTQ community in the struggle to ensure equal treatment for all and to defend and advocate for LGBTQ rights as plain human rights. And whereas after June 12, 2016 mass shootings at Pulse in an Orlando nightclub, communities throughout the nation came together to honor the victims of tragedy, which included 49 people who were killed and 53 others who were wounded, many from Hillsborough County. And whereas Hillsborough County and area cities are now partner in Tampa Pride, and whereas on May 22nd, the first Pride events of 2021 in the United States were held in Ybor City, the Tampa Pride Street Festival and Diversity Parade, shining a bright national spotlight on Hillsborough County and bringing attention to all the hard work and volunteers who made these events happen. And whereas Hillsborough County will continue to be a county where all people, regardless of their sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression, are treated with dignity and respect, as evidenced by the rainbow flag proudly flying outside the county center during the month of June. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hillsborough County, Florida, does hereby declare June 2021 as LGBTQ Pride Month in Hillsborough County, and encourages all residents and visitors to eliminate prejudice wherever it exists, and recognize and respect those who are dedicated to providing safe and inclusive community in Hillsborough County. Executed this third day in June 2021. Mr. Carey, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you very much. Our
Mr.
success
West, sorry.
was a positive effort by being on national news. NBC with nightly news was covered, and it was the nightly news on NBC was covered, and that is the best thing you could possibly do as a positive effort by going and talking and speaking of Hillsborough County in Florida and saying that it was not a problem by noticing what's going on, but having a positive effort by being in Hillsborough County in the state of Florida with a positive message to all the country. We greatly appreciate that. And a lot of other things that we are looking at and going in a positive direction. Yes, Pulse nightclub is very important. That is one of the nicest things that we could possibly go and try to remember by the shooting. And a lot of people from Hillsborough County were killed, maimed, and that is something that has to be remembered. We also look at right now that this is something that is worldwide. We're looking at the 42 people just recently, within the last month, that were slaughtered in South Africa just because they were gay and lesbian. I'm on the board of the Interpride, and we're working and making note that this is a country that is very positive and very, very workable, but we have to make note that these are the things that are happening in our world today. World Pride is a worldwide pride, and we welcome everybody, and we thank you very much as Hillsborough County members for coming out and helping celebrate the first great big post-COVID event in Hillsborough County and the world, and actually not in the world as much as it is in the United States, in Hillsborough County and in Ybor City. So thank you for raising the flag, and we greatly appreciate everybody being out there and shining the stars of brightness in Hillsborough County and in Ybor City. Thank you very much for this proclamation from all the people, LGBT, and all the allies. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will say, I think we made history that day because we had 6 commissioners in a parade, in an event, which I think is, yeah, I think we had, you were there. Yeah, I think we had a 6. I think all of us were there. So the good news is we had we had five commissioners, but we had, I think, the most commissioners ever in a parade. And I'm very proud of this board that really takes diversity and inclusion seriously. Thank you, Mr. West. I really appreciate that. We also wanted another special guest to join us today, but unfortunately she was not able to make it. Her name is Ashley Brundage, and she is the Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion for PNC Financial Services here in Tampa. Still, Ms. Brundage was kind enough to take the time to make us a short video, which I'm happy to share with everyone. Can we show the video now?
Hi, my name is Miss Ashley Brundage, and I use she, her, hers pronouns. And I'm honored to be one of the select individuals to accept this year's LGBTQ+ Pride Month proclamation from the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Thank you so much for your commitment to LGBTQ+ residents here in Hillsborough County. I've been a proud resident my entire life in this amazing county, and I have to tell you, to see progress that we've made by celebrating LGBTQ+ individuals in our county has made a major impact, including an economic impact to our county with bringing the LGBTQ+ International Business Conference back in 2019. We made more than a $5 million economic impact for just the downtown region. That's the work that makes a major, major connection for our county. And don't forget that LGBTQ+ business economic buying power across the United States is an estimated $1.7 trillion, which would be the 10th largest economy in the world on its own. So keep your commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion for all, because it has a major impact on the bottom line for our county as an organization. And keep displaying amazing resources for all the residents of the county, because it makes that major impact. So thank you so much for your commitment. I was honored to be here virtually and accept the Pride Month proclamation, LGBTQ+ Pride Month for all. Bye.
Wow, well done. That was great. Thank you very much, Ms. Brundage, when you get a chance to watch this later. I really appreciate everyone's effort in this today, and I have one more proclamation, and thank you, Commissioner Kemp, for joining us.
Yes, I'd just like
recognize that you're
to,
here.
also, it's
Oh, you
great
wanna comment?
that the LGBT, that we're raising the flag. And I've said it before, I just remember those days. I was actually an aide to Commissioner Castor, and as an aide was in the office watching when Hillsborough County declared that we couldn't celebrate gay pride anymore, small g, small p. And we had a decade of a lot of pain and associated with that, and bad times. And so it's just such a switch, and it's really wonderful. And I heard you had mentioned the 5 commissioners. Even when I first became a commissioner in 2016, I believe I was the only commissioner in the parade for a couple of years. So, and so it's really nice to have just the showing that we had as a commission, as a county, for this. I think it's a real sea change. So that's,
Yes, it is.
we look forward to the
Are
future.
there any other commissioners that would like to say something? I didn't ask, my apologies. I too, I wasn't in the parade until I got here, but it was always a family affair, kids, the parents, grandchildren, we all came out for the affair. So, because it really truly is a celebration of inclusion. So thank you very much for everyone for this today. The second proclamation today is for Caribbean American Heritage Month. Mr. Francis Joseph is the chairman of the Caribbean American National Development Organization, and I believe he's here with us today for our recognition. Mr. Joseph, are you present?
Yes, Commissioner, I'm present.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good
The
morning.
Caribbean American community has contributed much to Hillsborough County for many generations. The
I'm
Caribbean
trying to monitor this Hillsborough County meeting.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
I think, yeah, we got,
I think someone's, if we need to mute if someone's on there.
yeah, there's someone.
They're muted now.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. I'll start over. So thank you. The Caribbean American community has contributed much to Hillsborough County for many generations. The Caribbean American National Development Organization is the driving force behind these impacts. Its members promote cultural awareness, development, and advancement of Caribbean American community. The organization's tremendous success is a testament to its dedication to diversity, inclusiveness, integrity, collaboration, and partnerships. Today, we have a special opportunity to help our friends in this fine organization. As you may have seen, multiple islands in the southern Caribbean have been impacted by a volcano eruption. The Caribbean American National Development Organization is leading a donation drive to help these residents. And I'm sure Mr. Joseph will be happy to let everyone know, or anyone know, what items are needed and how we can help to these citizens that are suffering as a consequence of the volcano eruption. It is an honor to present this proclamation to Mr. Joseph, declaring June 2021 as Caribbean American Heritage Month. With that, I will read the proclamation and ask Mr. Joseph for some comments. It reads, whereas, if we could show it up on the screen, great, thank you. Whereas Caribbean Americans, through their dynamism, diversity, and work ethic, have contributed to the nation's cultural story in extraordinary ways. And whereas millions of people in the United States are connected to their Caribbean neighbors through ties of commerce and family, a relationship that is reinforced by common values and history. And whereas the narratives of the U.S. and the Caribbean have advanced on a similar path of progress, driven by a shared dedication of fostering opportunity and forging a brighter future. And whereas Caribbean Americans excel at universities, U.S. universities provide inspiration as athletes, museums contribute guidance to community and government leaders, and keep the nation safe through dedicated service in the U.S. Armed Forces. And whereas Hillsborough County's passionate Caribbean American community works diligently to increase prosperity and education opportunities among the residents of Caribbean descent through its community development and civic organizations. And whereas in collaboration with the University Area Community Development Center and numerous Caribbean civic associations, the Caribbean American National Development Organization hosts an annual festival event recognizing the diversity and accomplishments of the Tampa Bay Caribbean American community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hillsborough County, Florida, does hereby declare June 2021 as Caribbean American Heritage Month in Hillsborough County, and encourages residents and visitors to honor the resilient heritage and rich history of Caribbean Americans and reflect upon the diversity experiences that unites all people. Executed this third day of June 2021, signed by all 7 commissioners. And with that, I would say I've attended those music festivals, and they are absolutely a ball. Mr. Mr. Francis, would you please say a few words with us?
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm somewhat lost for words. Thank you for
if it's not written down, sometimes they just don't come out the way they're supposed to. Mr. Joseph, please, would you like to say a few words?
So, thank you. On behalf of the entire Caribbean American community of Hillsborough County and the Tampa Bay area, we would like to express our sincere thanks to the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners for the proclamation recognizing June 2021 as National Caribbean American Heritage Month. At this point in time, we look forward to coming to you and to this board to provide a brief update on our progress from our community and to ensure that we remain relevant in your decision making. Caribbean American Heritage Month was first celebrated by President George W. Bush in June of 2016 to recognize the significant contributions made by Caribbean Americans nationally. Even as far back as Alexander Hamilton arriving from the shores of St. Kitts, Nevis, Caribbean Americans have helped weave the intricate fiber of our national identity. We serve in every industry and segment of our American society. And as stated last year, we are Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, and we all vote. This year, regardless of our personal political affiliation, we have even more pride with the election and inauguration of Vice President Kamala Harris, along with her, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary of Education Miguel Carona, all of having Caribbean ancestry and are contributing to the highest level of their leadership role. It's hard to believe that it's been over a year since we've last saw each other, when former Commissioner Les Miller sponsored our proclamation. And we would like to take this opportunity to be one of the first to congratulate him on his Recognition of Good Government Award that he just received. Today, we graciously thank Commissioner Kim Oberman for sponsoring us for this year's recognition. Since we last spoke, just as many other organizations, as a result of the pandemic, as with other businesses, professionals, nonprofit organizations, and community organizations, we too were forced to take a pause of activities and advancing new initiatives. However, this pause was not without benefit. Our community used this opportunity to go back and re-examine our missions, to realign and foster better collaborations within our organizations and with our community partners at large. In the Tampa Bay community, just as stated by Commissioner Oberman, we have several Caribbean organizations that functions independently, serving individual island constituents, yet we collaborate as needed. For instance, through the collaboration of the USF Health, we were able to assist over 300 senior citizens in the minority community to receive their shots when the coronavirus vaccines rollout was initiated. The U.S. Census also recognized our community for participating in the 2020 census. This was very important, not just for us, but for you as well, for when going for funding, which should be allocated to Hillsborough County. In the area of disaster recovery, as Commissioner Omerman mentioned, in 2017, we created a coalition within the Caribbean organization groups called Tampa Cares to support disaster relief in the Caribbean region. This year, despite dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, the community rallied to provide support for the volcano disaster relief in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where over 6,000 pounds of donations were collected and sent. That those islands continue to recover. The agriculture area in the islands were impacted significantly. Food, the natural agricultural food is being impacted, and that too is one of our major area of need for providing support. So we appreciate everyone who can assist us. We have worked with Commissioner Oberman for identifying a location where we can do drop-offs, and we have a website that is dedicated both on our social media and our Can Do Facebook page for providing donations to support the relief efforts. As we look ahead, we are preparing for an opportunity for establishing an office with the University Area Community Development Organization with their Harvest Hope Cultural Campus. We will leverage this location as a home base to better collaborate and serve the community. We also look forward to bringing our economic and cultural diversity as a growing partner to the county and to Tampa Innovation Partnerships Uptown Development Initiatives. So to conclude, on behalf of the entire Tampa Caribbean community, we would like to thank you for recognizing us and providing this award. And we look forward to your continued support as this segment of the population continues to grow and mature in our beloved community that we now call home. So thank you to the entire board.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. The work that we've done together and the work that this board has supported in your efforts is my pleasure. And I really want to thank you for the work that you do in our community to really celebrate the diversity in this community. I also like to thank everyone else for doing this work and would like to welcome Madam Chair. The gavel is yours.
Yeah. Great. It's always wonderful to see all the proclamations and all the wonderful work that's being done in Hillsborough County. So we thank you all for all the community building and service that we hear about so often with these proclamations and appreciate it deeply. It's just building a better Hillsborough County. And with that, we will move to Ms. Wise with approval of the changes to the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have several items for time certain today. The first one is at 10 a.m. D1 is to conduct a public hearing to adopt a resolution approving the list of real property inventory appropriate for affordable housing. The inventory list is being revised to add one additional property. At 10:15, item B4 is to adopt a supplemental resolution to authorize the issuance of not to exceed $180 million in aggregate principal amount of the county's utility system revenue bonds series 2021 to finance the costs of various capital improvement projects. Also for the county's water and wastewater utility system, issuance of not to exceed $25 million for the county's utility refunding revenue bond series 2021B. This is to refund all of a portion of the county's outstanding utility revenue bond series 2010C. At 10:15, item B5 is to adopt a resolution for the issuance of capital improvement program commercial paper notes in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $300 million for the primary purpose of designating Wells Fargo Bank as the credit facility provider. At 10:30, item B6 is to review an appeal of the hearing master's decision regarding a protest of the county's notice of intent to award agreements for residential and commercial waste collection services for the Solid Waste Management Division. This is related to item B7, which is also at 10:30. If the board affirms the hearing master's decision regarding a protest of this procurement, this is to select and award agreements to the 3 respective highest ranked and best qualified firms for residential and commercial waste collection services for the Solid Waste Management Division. As stated, that's related to item B6. Those are the changes to the agenda.
Move for approval.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval by Commissioner Myers and seconded by Commissioner Overman. And seeing no further comments, please record your vote.
We're doing.
I'm
roll
sorry,
call.
that's right. We have a roll call
Yeah,
to
we have
do.
to do a
And we
roll
did
call
the roll
today.
call at the beginning, so.
That's right.
Okay. So, okay. Can we proceed with the roll call? I'm not used to it. I'm moving back and forth through this environment.
Kemp,
Yes.
Hagan,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Overman,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you. And we will now move to public comments. The board welcomes comments from citizens about any issue or concern. Your opinions are valued in terms of providing input to board members. However, it's requested at the same time when you address the board that comments are not directed personally against a commissioner or a staff member, but rather directed at issues. This provides a mutual respect between the board members and the public. The board has set aside a 45-minute period in the morning immediately following changes to the agenda for public comments. At the discretion of the chair, the board may follow with any public comments at the end of the meeting. Anyone who wishes to speak during the meeting will be able to do so by completing the online public comment form found at hillsboroughcounty.org/speakup. You'll be required to provide your name and telephone number on the online form. This information is being requested to facilitate the audio conferencing process. The chair will call on speakers by name in the order in which they have completed the online public comment form. Prioritizations on a first-come, first-served basis, and audio call-in number will be provided to participants who have completed the form. After it's received by the county, all callers will be muted upon calling and will be unmuted in the submission order after being recognized by the chair by name. Up to 3 minutes are allowed each speaker. Citizens speaking on scheduled items will be heard before citizens speaking on non-scheduled items. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly and loudly for us. And with that, we'll move to Keith Wilking. Keith Wilking?
Keith had not called in time.
I'm having a little trouble hearing you, but did you say he's not online?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Thank you. Willie Evans? Willie Evans.
Hi, good morning. My name is Willie Evans. I'm calling in because I did hear recently that you guys are considering changing my solid waste company in my community. I'm calling to let you guys know I oppose that. And the reason why I oppose that, my current solid waste company, they are familiar with my community, they're familiar with my neighborhood. You know, I know we had some recent issues with them regarding COVID, but they did the best they could during the time to actually serve the neighborhood. You know, speaking with the drivers, I would hate to see a new driver come in. I would hate to see new services actually come in my neighborhood as well as my community have to get used to someone that we're not used to or that we never heard of to start the trash process all over again. So I definitely strongly oppose against you guys changing my solid waste company. They have definitely served our community in my greatly, and I would hate to see them leave the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christian Maluse?
Yes. I just wanted to say how wonderful Waste Connections is in our community here in Wimauma, Florida. We're very happy with the service. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. John Casagrande?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Commission. My name is John Casagrande. I am the Vice President of Coastal Waste and Recycling of Florida. I'm here to speak on item B6 and ask the Commission to overturn the hearing master's decision regarding the protest and reissue a new RFP. Coastal Waste and Recycling of Florida, along with Good Companies, Inc., submitted a response to the RFP 20296 under Unified Waste Solutions. We had formed a joint venture just for the purpose of participating in this RFP. The reference in B7 to Coastal Waste and Recycling alone submitting a bid is incorrect. It was a joint venture with Good Companies. Our experience and references spoke volumes. Senior management had a combined 100 years of solid waste collection experience. Our references clearly exceeded the number of residential units that were set in each zone and required to be serviced. Our references include the Miami-Dade County, 226,000 homes, Montgomery County, Maryland, 73,000 homes, Prince George County, Maryland, 47,000 homes, and Charles County, 40,000 homes. All of our references were verified by your staff and that these services were being performed. 386,000 homes were being serviced without an issue, and there were no issues ever given to staff by our references. Yet staff had found a way to go through the contracts that we had, find a discrepancy, and disqualified us over one of the agreements. As we worked with procurement in an effort to resolve the issue, it was clear that there was no reversing their decision. RFPs were created to be flexible and objective. Clearly, other companies who participated were given this flexibility. Much more flexibility were given to others than was given to us, allowing for clear operational deficiencies and poor performance being overlooked. Lastly, what I'd like to make sure that everyone knew that Unified Waste Solutions, other joint venture partner, Good Companies, Inc., is a 100% owned and operated certified MBE company, certified here in Florida as well as other parts of the country. Hillsborough County failed to use this RFP to bring inclusion and diversity to one of the largest contracts, if not the largest contracts in the county, but staff chose not to. RFPs give every municipality the ability to choose, allow, and approve whatever gives the best results and accomplishes the goals of that municipality. I ask that the Commission rule in favor of the protest, overrule the hearing master's decision, throw out the RFPs, and reissue the RFPs. Thank you.
Thank you. Paige Drummond.
Hi, my name is Paige Drummond. I'm here today because animal control's inconsistent policies have proven unable to uphold state statutes. Last December, my fiance was walking our dog Finn when our dog was killed in an unprovoked attack by a 150-pound mastiff. He charged across the street with a single bite and shook our Finn to death. Many tried to get the dog to release Finn, but because of the dog's massive size, he was only released when the bite dog decided to. We called animal control the next day, and the dispatcher said, "We're aware of this dog." And even though Finn wasn't the first victim, we thought he'd be the last. But evidently, current internal policy allows otherwise, since this dog has yet to be declared dangerous. Florida's dangerous dog statute considers it dangerous if the dog has either once caused death or severe injury to a human, or if it twice caused death or severe injury to a domestic animal. In 2017, the same bite dog was in a dog park when an attacked 65-pound golden retriever causing sutures. Animal control was called, but no citations were issued after the bite dog owner became unresponsive, despite victim statements and injury photos. We were told they don't issue citations that are he said, she said, and Animal Control has also said they consider dog parks at your own risk. After looking through court records, we realized both reasonings are inconsistent with other cases. In 2018, the bite dog was at the same park when it pushed through two gates to attack a pregnant woman and her dog approaching. Both women and dogs suffered severe bite injuries. Again, initial testimony and photos were submitted. Citations were issued this time, despite this also being a he said, she said. But after being harassed by the bite dog owner, the victim would not cooperate, stating she feared for the owner would retaliate against her family. So the charges were dismissed. In 2019, a small dog briefly ran out of his house and was attacked and killed by the bite dog being walked nearby. Because the small dog is considered at large, no citations were issued. And so in 2023, now our story is just one of many. Animal control has never been able to contact with the bite dog owners for our case. Each past testimony reports that the bite dog owner never helped and just watched. 4 attacks in 4 years. 1 for every year this dog has been alive, and while showing an obvious pattern of escalation. Animal control told my fiance to shoot an approaching a dog in the future, and after speaking with neighbors, we realized that animal control has also been suggesting to other victims to shoot on site. This not only puts even more human life at risk, but opens up victims to extreme liability, since there is no Florida law that explicitly allows that. If these dogs are being flagged correctly in the first place, it wouldn't be the community's cross to bear. The past months, we spoke with our neighbors, lawyers, and other animal control departments in the state and realized that this county's lax policies are not only below the expectation of state law, but unnecessarily risk public safety. We grieve the loss of our family every single day. But what has proven to be an even greater heartache is that we know this will happen again and again without proper policy.
Sorry, your time is up. Your time is up. I'm sorry, your time is up. And Ms. Wise, did you?
And we'll follow up.
Mm-hmm. There will be follow-up. And finally, Timothy Pierce.
Yes, good morning, members of the board. I'm calling in trying to find out why there's so much construction being done. I know we need affordable housing and stuff like that, but as you constantly build, you limit our water supply, and the water supply is very bad here in Hillsborough County, especially here in the Riverview area. All of these homes that are being built, and no one thought of the distribution of water coming from one place where there should be another plant close by where we can obtain this water and stuff like that. The infrastructure here in the county is so bad that it needs real improvement. Other than the roads and stuff like that being repaired, that's good, and the building, you know, the bridges and the highways and widening and stuff like that. But the issue is we have a lot of people moving here to Florida because it's a wonderful place to be. And I would like to continue to see Hillsborough County and the city of Tampa continue to grow. And the only way we can do that is to fix all the bad infrastructure that we have, you know, and basically that's a whole scenario here. I mean, it's constantly building. I don't know if the builders are being responsible for paying their fair share or either contributing to building a new water plant closer to service this area. Because right now, the water is very limited. And just recently, I read an article about the building and infrastructure from Harvard, and saying, you know, that the more people that migrate and move here to the city of Tampa and Hillsborough County and stuff like that, that our water supply is very limited, it's very scarce. So I just trying to figure out what are we doing about that. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. We appreciate that input. Yeah, we've rarely heard it. Thank you. And so with that, we will move to the consent item, or the consent agenda, excuse me. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Commissioner Smith made the motion, and it was seconded by Commissioner Myers. And with that, if we can have a roll call vote?
Camp,
Yes?
Hagan, Myers,
Yes.
Overman,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. And now we are on to our regular agenda. Not too late, 10 after 10.
Pretty good.
Ms. Wise.
We are on our first public hearing. This is item D1. This is to conduct a public hearing to adopt a resolution approving the list of real property inventory for affordable housing. Cheryl Howell, Affordable Housing Director, will open the public hearing.
Good morning, Commissioners. Cheryl Howell, Affordable Housing Director. So good to be here this morning. We're here this morning to conduct a public hearing to adopt a resolution approving the list of real property inventory appropriate for affordable housing pursuant to Section 125.379 Florida statutes, and authorize the acceptance of the properties into the capital assets financial records of the VOCC. Hillsborough County is required to prepare an inventory list of all real property in the county to which the county holds fee simple title that is appropriate for use as affordable housing. Affordable housing inventory list is being revised to add one additional property, which is folio number 042448-0000, located at 3100 North 66th Street in Tampa. There's no fiscal impact associated with this agenda item. This is a public hearing.
Move approval. Just in case I wasn't going to get there fast enough. Move approval, please.
Second.
This is a public hearing, and I don't think, we don't have anybody I don't have anybody signed up, but just to check. Okay, and so we have Commissioner Overman moved approval, Commissioner Myers seconded, and with that, and seeing no further comments, can we have a roll call vote?
Kemp?
Yes.
Hagan? Myers?
Yes.
Overman?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Cohen? Cohen?
He's having a signal issue, looks like. There he is.
Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Ms. Wise.
We have just a few minutes before our 10:15 time certain. So if we could jump to the regular agenda. Apologize. The first regular agenda item is item B1. This is regarding advertising a public hearing, and Cameron Clark will take us through items both B1 and B2.
Good morning, Commissioners. Cameron Clark, Assistant County Attorney. Item B1 is an item scheduling a public hearing for your June 16th regular meeting at 10 a.m. Regarding amendment to the mobility fee program ordinance. You'll recall that on May 20th of last year, the board updated the mobility fee study and made other amendments to that ordinance. Subsequently, this legislative session, the state legislature drafted a bill that would have capped annual impact fee increases at 3%, which mattered because the impact fee rates were being phased in for mobility fees and for the next item also for parking impact fees. So our board on March 25th of this year held a special meeting, a public hearing, to amend the mobility fee ordinance in order to accelerate the phase-in schedule to 100% effective June 30th, predicated on the fact that the bill was set to take effect on July 1st. Subsequently, the legislature made amendments to that bill that removed the 3% cap, but it creates with a narrow exception, it creates a required phase-in schedule for any fee increases, either a 2-year or 4-year phase-in, depending on the size of the fee increase. It also states that fees cannot be increased by greater than 50%, and it states that you can't increase fees more frequently than once every 4 years, phase-ins notwithstanding. So the action before you is to set a public hearing for June 16th in order to allow us to bring the mobility fee ordinance into conformance with the amended Florida Impact Fee Act. The changes before you are, first, it would unwind the board's action from March 25th and revert the phase-in to the original phase-in that was adopted May of last year. It would change the schedule of mobility fee study update from every 3 years to every 4 years, and it would remove the cost indexing, the annual cost indexing procedures that are in the ordinance, that have been in the ordinance since 2016, but to this point have not been utilized. I'm happy to take any questions you might have. The underlying point is that since the legislative bill was adopted, they actually moved the effective date of the bill from July 1st to being retroactive to January 1st, which essentially preempts the board's actions subsequent to January 1st, which includes the March 25th public hearing. I'm happy to take any questions you might have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I don't see any questions.
Move approval.
We have a motion I believe by Commissioner Overman and seconded by Commissioner Smith. And seeing no further discussion, can we have a roll call?
Kemp,
Yes?
Hagan, Myers,
Yes.
Overman,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. And we need a second vote on B2, I'm
Separate
assuming?
for B2, please.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Move for approval.
We have a motion by Commissioner Myers, seconded by Commissioner Smith. And seeing no further discussion, can we have a roll call vote?
Kemp,
Yes?
Hagan, Myers,
Yes.
Overman,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. Ms. Wise?
The next time certain item is item B4. This is to adopt a resolution for our utility system bonds. Kevin Brickey will take us through this item. Our bond counsel is available for any questions as well if needed.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Kevin Brickey, Management and Budget. Item B4 asks you to adopt a supplemental resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $180 million in utility revenue bonds series 2021, otherwise known as the new money bonds, to fund several major water, wastewater capital improvement projects, and to issue a not to exceed $25 million in utility refunding revenue bonds series 2021B to refund the 2010C taxable utility bonds, and to approve the related issuance costs and actions. For the new money component, the competitive sale is scheduled for June 22. The estimated annual debt service is $8.6 million. And for the refunding component, that competitive sale is also scheduled for June 22. And the net present value savings is about $2.2 million or $177,000 from refunding those bonds. These both would be secured by water, wastewater system revenues.
Thank you. And
Move approval.
this is, okay. Commissioner Overman has a moved approval. Second? Smith. Commissioner Smith seconded. And seeing no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Kemp,
Yes?
Hagan, Myers,
Yes.
Overman,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Moving right on, thank you. Ms. Wise?
Thank you. The next item is item B5. This is to adopt a resolution for our commercial paper program, primarily changing our credit facility provider. Kevin Brickey will take us through this item as well.
Thank you. Commissioners, B5 asks you to adopt a resolution providing for the issuance of capital improvement program commercial paper notes in amount not to exceed $300 million. This item authorizes staff to replace the current commercial paper facility with MUFG Union Bank with a very similar one with Wells Fargo Bank. A budget amendment also is accompanied this resolution for your approval and realigns the funds necessary to pay issuance costs associated with the new facility and for the repayment reissue of existing outstanding notes related to the facility change. This is the result of a request for a proposal that was issued by our financial advisor, Prague. We had 10 banks respond, and Wells Fargo Bank was selected on the basis of having the lowest overall credit cost. And we ask for your approval of this item.
Move for approval.
Thank you. Commissioner Myers moved for approval.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Overman. And seeing Commissioner Overman, you recognize?
Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to thank Ms. Wise and the entire financial area of the county. Unlike having to set a public hearing for the item before last, which was based on solid financial practices when we put those mobility fees into place, These last two items actually represents excellent financial stewardship of our financing mechanisms and making sure that we're utilizing and keeping the most effective rates for managing our cash flows for the obligations that the county has. So I just want to thank our staff and county administration for really always looking for the best way to make sure that we're using the capital and our taxpayers' money wisely. Thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of the team, we have a great team from our bond counsel to our financial advisor, our disclosure counsel, and all our county staff. So thank you.
Thank you. And, you know, I'll reiterate that we are really pleased, and I know that, Ms. Wise, you've made looking at the budget really hard and made an attempt to move us away from any short-term credit, which isn't the wisest way for us to go. And it's, I very much appreciate that that's a fiscal direction I think that we should be moving in. So it's not something we really put out there, but I think it's good public policy and good for our county. And with that, we are on B5, and we have a motion by Commissioner Myers, seconded by Commissioner Overman, and seeing no further discussion, can we have a roll call vote?
Kemp?
Yes?
Hagan?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Overman?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Ms. Wise?
And thank you. We'll go back to the regular agenda. We'll be going back and forth here a little bit. I apologize for that. Item B3 is a Head Start grant application, and Dr. Jenkins will present this item.
Good morning, everyone. Are you able to hear me?
Not very well.
We can, but it would be better if you could be a little, can we get the volume up
better
somehow?
now?
That's better, yes.
Thank you. Dr. Jenkins, Head Start Department Director, seeking approval for the fiscal year 22 Head Start, Early Head Start Continuation Grant Application for federal funding from the Department of Health and Human Services. This is for the period October 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2022. And I can answer any questions.
Thank you. And seeing no discussion.
Move for approval.
Okay.
Second.
Commissioner Myers made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Overman. And seeing Commissioner Overman, you're recognized.
I'll make this very quick. I can't thank everyone for really taking care of our children important. That's been a critical part of our recovery as far as COVID, and Head Start, you know, is now making great strides in getting us back to normal in the work that they're doing. So thank you very much, Ms. Jenkins, for making this happen. You were instrumental in giving us good guidance on how to manage last year, and your guidance and your wisdom and strength in managing through this last year and a half or so, or a year and a quarter, has been instrumental in moving this forward, and I'm pleased to support this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, and thank you from all the board. We've just had such wonderful work on behalf of Hillsborough County by our staff in so many different departments, and you have a especially difficult department all the time, I think. So yes, thank you for your work. And with that, we have a motion B3, motion made by Commissioner Myers, seconded by Commissioner Overman, and seeing no further discussion, can we have a roll call vote?
Kemp?
Yes.
Hagan?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Overman?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you. Ms. Wise?
Thank you. The next item is Commissioner Overman's item, if you're prepared at this time. For item F1, okay. I'll stall a little bit, give you a minute there.
Yep.
And this is to direct the county attorney's office and the county administrator to work with interested stakeholders regarding supporting designations of transportation facilities. Okay, very good.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the heads up. It's like, okay, flip through the book. Thank you very much. Item F1 is to direct the county attorney's office and the county administration's office to work with all interested stakeholders, including the family of our fallen law enforcement officers, the legislative sponsors, Florida Department of Transportation, City of Tampa, Hillsborough Legislative Delegation, the many local elected officials involved in this process, the law enforcement agencies, and draft and bring back to the Board of County Commission a resolution supporting the designations of some transportation facilities in honor of Sergeant Brian Levine and Officer City of Tampa Officer Jesse Madsen. Senate Bill 1716 and its companion House bill passed unanimously in this last session. The legislation honors fallen law enforcement officers from the Tampa Bay area, Deputy Michael J. Magley from Pinellas, if I'm not mistaken, Sergeant Brian Levine, and Officer Jesse Madsen, creating 3 honorary designations, and directs FDOT to erect suitable markers for each of our fallen heroes. The legislation requires the appropriate jurisdiction to pass a resolution supporting the designation prior to the installation of the markers. Pinellas County will have a resolution on their agenda honoring the life of Michael J. Magley, a Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy who died in the line of duty on February 17th of 2021. Tampa City Council will have a resolution on their agenda honoring Tampa Police Officer Jesse Madsen, who was killed on March 9th, 2021, while responding to reports of a vehicle driving in the wrong direction. Reports have said that he put himself in the path of the driver and was struck head-on to protect others on I-275 near Hillsborough Avenue. The legislation designates that a portion of State Road 60 between I-75 and Philip Lee Boulevard in Hillsborough County as the Sergeant Brian Levine Road. And that portion of I-275 between East Sly Avenue and East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard in Tampa, Officer Jesse Madden Memorial Highway. Our resolutions honor Sergeant Brian Levine, who was killed on January 11th, 2021, when his patrol car was intentionally rammed by another vehicle on West Lumsden Road near South Kings Avenue in Brandon. He was killed the day before his last scheduled shift before retirement. This Monday, we honored and memorialized the lives of our fallen men and women of armed services. In a similar fashion, this action today will be another important step in honoring and memorializing the lives of our fallen local heroes. So therefore, I move to direct the county attorney's office and the county administrator's office to work with all interested stakeholders, including the families of our fallen law enforcement officers, City of Tampa, Hillsborough County Legislative Delegation, local elected officials, law enforcement agencies, and the Florida Department of Transportation to draft and bring back to the Board of County Commission a resolution supporting the designation of transportation facilities in honor of Sergeant Brian Levine and Tampa Police Officer Jesse Madsen.
We have a motion by Commissioner Overman, seconded by Commissioner Smith. Seeing no further discussion, can we have a roll call vote?
Kemp?
Yes?
Hagan?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Overman?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Wise?
I think we're close to 10:30.
The clock up there says 10:30. So let's
Okay. Well, as I introduce the item, it'll be 10:30. At 10:30, we have item B6 and the related item B7. The first one is to review and appeal and hearing master's decision regarding a protest of the county's notice of intent to award agreements for residential and commercial waste collection services, and turn it over to the chair.
Thank you. Item B6 is an item involving the board's review of a hearing master's decision regarding the procurement director's decision denying a procurement protest by Waste Connections. The process is governed by Section 2-572 of the Hillsborough County Code, Section 12 of the Ordinance Number 13-24. The board should consider only the record on appeal and should not consider any new evidence or issues. The board is to decide by a simple majority vote whether to remand the appeal back to the hearing master or affirm the hearing master's decision, except for the hearing master's remand of the evaluation committee recommendation to the awards committee for review. The ordinance provides that presentations to the board by the parties shall be limited to 10 minutes per party. The board may ask questions as long as each party gets their full time. If the party wants to reserve time for rebuttal, they should indicate at the start of their presentation. It would be appropriate now to hear from each party, starting with Waste Connections, which will be followed by Fomento de Construcciones y Contratas S.A., which we will refer to as FCC. And then we'll hear from Scott Stromer, our county procurement director. So we'll start now with a representative from Waste Connections.
Good morning, Chairwoman. Let me know when you're ready for me to start.
We're ready.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Chairwoman and Commissioners. My name is Grant Smith, and I proudly represent the 200 great women and men of Waste Connections of Florida in this appeal. Waste Connections has been partnered with Hillsborough County for the better part of 15 years. It is these frontline employees and their support teams who worked selflessly and tirelessly through the pandemic to keep the trash off the ground. While 10 minutes is not nearly enough to discuss all of the issues, I would like to move the record on appeal into this hearing and ask you to read all of our arguments, and I will reserve time at the end. The hearing master and procurement director before him got it wrong. It was a flawed process that led to the wrong result, all contrary to the law. The hearing master's report was so flawed, and it did not comply with your code, such that you could not possibly read the findings of fact and be able to apply any of it to the protest in this matter. Your options today are wide open. The board could conceivably find against us and still take up the next agenda item B7 and find that awarding is not in the best interest of the county, terminate the procurement, instruct staff to follow the rules, and bring it back. Another way of saying this is that you have the ability to right the wrong of the evaluation committee and keep the residents from disruption. The most egregious example of where staff and the hearing master got it wrong was the composition of the evaluation committee. Your procurement manual states that the committee should not include people who report to one another. There is good public policy behind this. It allows people to speak freely, not be stifled by their boss, and helps to prevent what you would call groupthink. Yet, on this committee, you had a manager as the chairperson, his boss a director as a member, and her boss a county administrator as a member. This is a direct violation. However, the procurement director stated in writing that he granted a waiver. The problem is there is no rule that allows for waivers, which is another broken rule. It becomes an arbitrary and capricious decision of the director and the hearing master when they rely on outright misrepresentation to substantiate their decisions. In the record, you will find that Mr. Stromer included in his protest denial that he provided a written waiver to the chairman to stack the committee with these improper interlocking relationships. However, contrary to his letter and the backup exhibit he provided to us in the hearing master, it was an impermissible waiver for a different procurement with a different procurement number and different members in a different year. The circumstances of that waiver were distinct and can't be applied here. Yet, he had the audacity to try and pass it off as evidence, as if we would not notice. Relying on misrepresented evidence in a hearing master proceeding is the absolute textbook definition of an arbitrary and capricious decision by both gentlemen. It is from this decision that the process became so tainted that it must be thrown out on that ground alone. The commission approved an RFP that placed an overwhelming emphasis on low price, meaning the will of the commission was that it wanted the best price. Yet, the evaluation committee put in front of you today a recommendation that you pay $14 million more than you should. As the county's fiduciaries, in these times of fiscal awareness and belt tightening, why pay more than you should when you have a very viable option not to? It should not matter that it might fit into the expected range that staff estimated. It is still cash out the door that could be used to support other programs or reduce the burden on your citizens. Shockingly, FCC proposed pricing that is 40% lower than every other proposer, even those with a lot of experience in Hillsborough County. There had to be a basic misunderstanding of the scope and complexity of the work by a company that has never worked in this county. Yet, there was not one word uttered by the evaluation committee, by anyone, to critically analyze how they could offer the price they could. If you were sitting there, wouldn't you have said, why is this so much lower, and sought out the answer? The committee failed you. Let me explain how their pricing came in so low. In their proposal, they promised to do the homes in Zone 3 in 22 seconds each. 22 seconds is awfully fast. All of you are familiar with the somewhat rural nature of Zone 3. The sheer distance between the homes makes this an impossibility and should have been a red flag. FCC's routes proposed for Zone 3 also contain the most homes of any proposer and will cause them to service the homes as if they were on a racetrack. There is simply no way for them to service 100,000 homes at an average of 22 seconds each. FCC was able to offer this unrealistic pricing by making the routes bigger, dedicating fewer trucks, hiring fewer people, and working fewer hours, costing them less to the detriment of your residents. The county said it wanted smaller route sizes, yet there's no evidence that the evaluation committee did anything to analyze their route density. Under-resourcing this work will lead to a terrible transition and very angry constituents with many calls to your offices in the beginning and middle of 2022. By ignoring these objective criteria and awarding to a proposer who does not understand the scope, makes the decision irrational and it becomes arbitrary and capricious. There's a recent example of where this very unfortunate situation played out with FCC. Around Christmas time, the mayor of Omaha, Nebraska, had to hold what must have been a very embarrassing televised press conference, apologizing to her city for the failings of FCC in the transition of garbage providers. In that same press conference, FCC promised to dedicate more trucks and people to the contract. What does that mean? It means they under-resourced it in the first place. Is that what you want happening in Hillsborough County in the middle of 2022? Because that's what they proposed. If this procurement stands, it will shape up to be a perfect storm of disruption. The last time there was a new implementation of garbage, there was a year's worth of outreach before the RFP, designed to get public input and to make them aware of the changes. That did not happen this time. I believe the public is largely unaware of the major changes that are potentially coming their way. Let me briefly describe the changes. There are currently 5 zones that will be collapsed into 3 zones. That means there is a potential for every one of the 300,000 homes and 15,000 businesses in the county to be serviced on new days as new routes are balanced and implemented. Think about the confusion and the phone calls. And remember, this time it was done without outreach and buy-in. There's also one aspect that nobody's really talked about, and that is the impact on the commercial customers. There are more than 15,000 commercial customers that will be impacted. Each one will be required to sign a new contract. And if Waste Connections does not remain as a hauler, The 3,500 customers we currently service will have to get a new provider and new dumpsters in very short orders, as ours will be picked up. As everyone knows, due to COVID, there are shortages in every area of the economy. The waste industry is no different. Garbage trucks are very hard to get. There are long waits. This contract requires new vehicles to be in Hillsborough County by the end of this year. Waste Connections has authorized me to state unequivocally that they have trucks on the way to be able to comply with the contract. Between 15 years of servicing the county, our fully operational state-of-the-art hauling facility, and all of the dumpsters necessary to service the commercial customers, the residents of this county will not miss a beat. To our knowledge, FCC does not have land yet, and they likely have no trucks purchased for this contract. FCC will tell you this is sour grapes. It is not. If we were to miss out on an opportunity in a fair and equitable process, we would not be here today. But where there has been unfairness and outright misrepresentations that cause our company and your county harm, we have an obligation to call it out. The county expects a good partner, and Waste Connections has been that partner for many years. We have stood with you through hurricanes, the pandemic, special events, and custom requests. And when we've had service issues, as we did during COVID, we stayed in constant contact with the county, did not accept payment for the missed pickups, and did everything we could to meet our obligations. It was the right thing to do. We stuck to our core principles as a committed partner of the county. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And with that, we will move to FCC.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear you? Thanks. Good morning, staff, participants, commissioners, and Madam Chair. My name is Kyle Watson, and I have the privilege of representing FCC, which was the highest score in all 3 zones and recommended proposer for Zone 3. After hearing Waste Connections representative speak, I'm reminded of Paul Harvey and his famous line, "And now for the rest of the story." What you just heard is entirely incorrect. A true county partner such as Waste Connections would have submitted a fair and complete proposal that is the most advantageous to the county. They did not, which is why they were not recommended for award in any of the 3 zones. And before I get further, I want to congratulate and commend the county on an extremely thorough procurement process and affirm what a top-notch system this is, particularly with respect to due process and allowing such a level of appeal. You are now going to be the 5th body that has looked at this. You had the evaluation committee and all of their countless hours, days, weeks, and months spent on this. Then you had the director's review and decision. You had a hearing master's review and decision and an awards committee. Yet trying to use scare tactics and made up performance matrix and manipulation of data, Waste Connections is trying to undo all of this work in this entire process. Rather than accept the results of a fair and legitimate process, Waste Connections has chosen to gather as much mud as it can and throw it at the county, at FCC, and at the entire process. FCC doesn't propose the impossible or propose anything that would do any harm to the county, but rather quite the opposite. See, this proposal involves 3 main things, and that's trucks, people, and time. Everyone is limited to the same amount of time. We just heard Mr. Smith talk about the risk and time in a racetrack. Every proposer has the same amount of time. And what FCC has done is an extensive analysis and proposed exactly how it would use all 3. And with respect to pricing, at one side of Waste Connections' mouth, we hear that the county should put an emphasis on pricing. But out of the other, they acknowledge that FCC did have the lowest pricing. But that's not all FCC had. On all the other criteria, it almost received a perfect score. It was the top score in all 3 zones. It could have been awarded all 3 zones, but for the RFP only allowing a company to be awarded 1 zone. But importantly, and as the record shows that you've all been provided, There is no legitimate basis to change all these findings and levels of appeal. The burden here is extremely high to show that the evaluation committee, the director, or the hearing master acted clearly erroneous, arbitrary, capricious, fraudulent, or without basis in law or fact. The decisions in the record shows that every decision has been supported in law and fact, well-reasoned, analyzed, and explained. So, despite Waste Connections' efforts to delay the process further as the incumbent and get another bite at the apple, it cannot meet the standard to overturn this decision. Basically, Waste Connections has come to you and said, throw out all this hard work that's been done because we don't believe FCC can do what they proposed. This is an insufficient basis and is purely speculative. FCC is ready, willing, and able to do as it proposed, and its proposal was entirely responsive and fair and most advantageous to the county. Waste Connections' disagreement with the findings and the recommendations does not mean that the process was flawed. Many of the folks at this great county with extensive knowledge, experience, and expertise about the services that are needed and those who will be administering the contract have spent countless hours and gone through this process, which has been affirmed at multiple levels of appeal. There is no legitimate basis to change anything and throw all of this out. With respect to the public comment we've heard, generally that is requested by folks such as Waste Connections for those people to speak, and we appreciate their right to be heard, but we would rest assured to those folks that there will not be any disruption and they will not have any different service, but rather they will have better service and at a more fair price for the county. We appreciate the right to due process, and we appreciate the right for Waste Connections to protest and be heard. But they have now exercised and exhausted those rights. Time is of the essence, and we are soon going to affect the resident services. We need to move forward with the award. We respectfully request you affirm the hearing master's decision and award Zone 3 to FCC. I would now like you to hear a few words from FCC's Director of Operations, Charles Merkley.
Good morning, Honorable Madam Chair Kemp and fellow commissioners. I'm Charles Merkley, Director of Operations for FCC. And personally, I have more than 30 years experience in Florida and 40 years in the industry. We currently span across Florida, serving counties of Polk, Orange, Volusia, Palm Beach, where we provide service to more than 325,000 households and several thousand commercial locations. I have had the distinct privilege to lead every transition for FCC within Florida in achieving extremely high success with our municipal partners, and I will be proudly serving this transition as well. Every transition and operation is unique and it stands on its own merit. There's always challenging situations for the new service provider, the municipality, and most of all, the curbside residents. Each and every one of those communities have provided us a perfect 10 out of 10 score. And I'd like to repeat that because that's a hard achievement to make. 10 out of 10 on other fellow municipalities and communities that we service now today in Florida, which is in your record. When it comes simply to service evaluations, reference checks, along with written expressions of satisfaction for our company's service partnership in their communities. If we are selected, I would look forward to running the operations through a successful transition within the county and delivering the exceptional service the residents expect and deserve. Contrary to what you have heard, we have already secured our trucks, our land, and our facility, as well as started our compressed natural gas station needed for this contract and will be fully operational prior to the start of the contract. I will now yield our remaining time to my colleague, Erica Holloway, our Director of Public and Governmental Affairs.
Thank you, Madam Chair Kemp and Commissioners. We thank you for holding this professional and thorough procurement process, and we look forward to the opportunity of serving more Floridians. With the addition of Hillsborough County and recently the Village of Wellington, FCC will serve over 1.5 million residents across the Sunshine State. We aim to become a local and ingrained member of the community as we have in other areas we serve. Our sustainable approach to solid waste and recycling services is the core of our business, and we are excited to share that with Hillsborough County. In fact, we're the largest recycling company in Texas, where we built and operated 2 industry-awarded facilities in the country. More than 120 years of experience as a company has readied us for this opportunity. FCC Environmental Services stands ready to get to work for the residents of Hillsborough. We thank you for the time to address you this morning, and we look forward to a long-lasting partnership. I'm here with other members of FCC, including our CEO, who can answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you identify yourself for the record?
Can you identify yourself, the last speaker?
Erica Holloway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, we will close these 2 portions, and we will move to our procurement director, Mr. Scott Stromer.
Good morning, Scott Stromer, Director of Procurement. The protester has not even come close to meeting its burden of providing clear and convincing evidence that the county's actions or the decision to deny the protest were erroneous, arbitrary, capricious, fraudulent, or without reasonable basis. The basis for my decision to deny the protest is fully and clearly addressed in my letter to the protester dated March 16, 2021, which is contained in the record on appeal that was previously provided to the board. The award criteria and relative weights, including those for price, were clearly set forth in the RFP, and the resulting scores were arrived at by properly applying the same. If the protester had a problem with how price would be evaluated, the matter must have been raised during the letting process because it is clearly associated with the specifications and terms and conditions. As such, protests related to the award criteria may not be considered after the closing date. It is improper and patently unfair to change the relative weight of a criteria or add another measure or criteria after a solicitation closes and final scoring has been completed, especially when the proposers now know their final rank positions and the prices submitted by others. The evaluation committee reviewed and carefully considered the proposals and properly applied the published award criteria and relative weights and recommended awards to the respective highest scoring firms for the various zones. Any information gathered as a result of the protest process was never presented nor considered by the evaluation committee. The intervener's response to the protest properly included information to rebut the protester's assertions in its protest. The intervener did not supplement its proposal any more than the protester supplemented its proposal with additional information included with the protest. In the end, the evaluation committee's recommendation for award is deliberate, logical, well-reasoned, and fully conforms to the evaluation methodology published in the RFP. As affirmed by the hearing master, there is no evidence that the evaluation committee did not give this matter proper consideration in the scoring of the proposals and proposers. Protesters claim that it was denied procedural due process is entirely without merit. The protest ordinance clearly prescribes the hearing procedure, the sole purpose of which is to obtain information that the hearing master deems relevant to the resolution of the appeal, not to obtain information from the protester, the intervener, nor the county. Furthermore, the prescribed hearing procedure clearly provides a very limited opportunity to the protester and the county to address or rebut any information or arguments presented by any other party. There is no provision for direct questioning or cross-examination of employees or witnesses by an opposing party. Again, the protester has the burden of providing clear and convincing evidence that the decision to deny the protest was clearly erroneous, arbitrary, capricious, fraudulent, or without basis. As affirmed by the hearing master, that burden has not been met. The claim that the protester was deprived of due process because of an inability to directly question the intervener's employees or witnesses is contrary to the hearing procedure prescribed in the protest ordinance, which was evenly applied to all parties and referenced in the solicitation document. The county's interpretation of the procedures for committee membership is reasonable, prudent, and clearly within its discretion, as affirmed by the hearing master. Ultimately, the county is responsible for convening the highest qualified committee to undertake the evaluation and provide the best award recommendation for these critical services. The word should, as used in the procedures regarding committee membership of direct and indirect reports, is intentional and provides the necessary flexibility. It is not enough for the protester to simply advance a different interpretation of the procedures regarding committee membership. The protester has the burden of providing clear and convincing evidence of prejudice as a result of the committee's composition. And as affirmed by the hearing master, that burden has not been met. There is no evidence that the evaluation and award recommendation was unduly influenced as a result of the committee's composition and/or individual committee members' position in the organizational hierarchy. For whatever reason, the protester alleges in his appeal of the hearing master's decision that I made up evidence and tried to cover my tracks by coming up with a false assertion about when and how I approved the use of direct and indirect reports on the evaluation committee. This is not complicated. As the board may recall, we solicited and ultimately canceled an RFP in late 2019 for the same waste collection services. At that time, the proposers were notified of the county's intent to reissue the solicitation with revised requirements. As part of that process, I approved the use of direct and indirect reports for that solicitation, given the importance of the services and the absolute need to involve and engage the appropriate stakeholders, namely those who have the requisite knowledge and are ultimately charged with overseeing and administering the resulting contract and responding to complaints if they arise. To be clear, there is no requirement in the procedures that my approval of committees be in writing, but as a practice, I do approve these requests in writing, typically by email, so that the rationale for allowing direct and indirect reports on an evaluation committee is documented and included in the file. When the replacement solicitation was ready to be issued, I did not ask Solid Waste Management Division to submit another request to use direct and indirect reports. And I advised, yep, you need me to stop?
No.
Anyway, I did not ask the Solid Waste Management Division to submit another request to use direct and indirect reports. And I advised staff that the previous approval stood because the second solicitation was a reissue for the same waste collection services, and the rationale for allowing direct and indirect reports was exactly the same. It was completely unnecessary to ask the Solid Waste Management Division to submit another written request for the same services and rationale so that I can approve it again. It is important to note that when a solicitation is canceled in Oracle, the number for that solicitation may not be reused, which is why a new number was assigned to the reissued solicitation. It is essentially the same solicitation, but with a new number. In my letter denying the protest, I actually referenced my email approval for the committee related to the first solicitation, believing that a reasonable person would see the correlation between the two solicitation processes. The allegation that evidence was made up and I tried to cover my tracks and came up with a false assertion regarding my approval of direct and indirect reports on the committee is unfounded, factually incorrect, and entirely without merit. During the protest, there was a question regarding the use of awards committees. The Procurement Procedures Manual defines the awards committee as an optional ad hoc committee that may be convened to review the recommendation and either uphold the evaluation committee's recommendation or return the recommendation to the evaluation committee for further review. The awards committee, when used, consists of the director of procurement, the director of management and budget, and the director of the department requesting the services. In this case, the director of the requesting department, Kim Byer, is the director of Solid Waste Management Division, was also on the evaluation committee. Based on the county's long-standing interpretation from before my arrival and up to this point, that the awards committee is optional and not required, this committee's not been used. While I believe the county's judgment and interpretation of procedures were reasonable, appropriate, and well within its discretion as a matter of internal review, we respect the hearing master's decision and followed his order to convene the awards committee, which ultimately upheld that the evaluation committee's recommendation was proper. The law is well settled that the county's judgment must not be supplanted without clear evidence that 1, such judgment is arbitrary and capricious, 2, involves an actual abuse of discretion, 3, or is otherwise not in accordance with applicable law. In short, absent clear evidence to the contrary, the county's judgment must prevail to preserve the integrity of the public procurement process and protect the county's right to secure in its sole judgment the services of the best qualified firms. It is simply not enough for the protester to have a different interpretation of procurement procedures. The county's interpretation of the procedures was reasonable, prudent, and clear within its discretion, as affirmed by the hearing master. The protester ultimately has the burden of providing clear and convincing evidence that the county's actions and protest denial were erroneous, arbitrary, capricious, fraudulent, without basis, and that the highest ranked firms are inferior to the protester after considering the published criteria and relevant weights. The protester in this case has not met that burden. Pursuant to the protest ordinance, the board may, 1, affirm the hearing master's decision on appeal, or 2, remand the appeal back to the hearing master for additional proceedings. Overturning the hearing master's decision, which is the remedy request by Waste Connections, is not available at this stage in the process. As the board may recall, our desire was to provide approximately 1 year after award to allow the selected firm sufficient time to purchase new equipment and trucks, purchase property, and recruit staff. Prior to the pandemic, the delivery of new trucks was estimated to take about 1 year. Since the pandemic, we are seeing widespread delays in the purchase of vehicles and equipment due to material shortages and order backlogs, which makes it even more important to move forward with the award, as we have already lost several months as a result of this protest. As such, I respectfully request and urge the board to affirm the hearing master's decision and approve awards to the highest ranked and best qualified firms so that the necessary preparations may be taken to ensure there is no delay in the transition or gap in the delivery of these essential services to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. And so with that, we have all the parties had their time, and I don't see Commissioner Smith. You're recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Mr. Stromer, I see Zone 3 is everything south of Bloomingdale, from east to, or west to east across the county. It is a big area. It's a big spread out area of suburban and semi-rural even communities that would be serviced. It's my neighborhood is in there, so I just want to ask about one point that was raised, whether or not FCC was essentially low. I think we've had concerns before of haulers lowballing the residential to get access to the much more lucrative commercial customers. So I just want to understand, was there any review or in-depth look at whether or not this is feasible for FCC to be serving that area in with a lower number of staff and a lower cost? Was that considered in detail, maybe by the reviewing committee, or was it just by the numbers?
So I would have to defer to the chairman of the committee. The committee did evaluate. They were very thorough on how they evaluated these proposals. Damian Trammell was the committee chair. I believe he's on available to address that. Kim Byer is also available to address details on the solid waste, both of which were on the committee.
Possibly Ms. Byer could address the practicality. Did anybody look at the practicality, the actual possibility of serving that area in the way that was proposed by this, by the winner?
We did. The selection committee actually did. There was an operations plan that the proposers presented to the committee, and we did evaluate those. They did have a number of trucks that they were servicing per zone, and that was evaluated. The route size was also evaluated. I will refer any more details to Damian Trammell, the chair, committee chair.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioner. This is Damian Trammell, Collection Manager for Hillsborough County. I think Ms. Byer covered it all. There was an extensive review of their proposals to ensure that they would be able to complete routes on time and that they will be able to provide the services that are demanded from Hillsborough County.
And I'm sure we have the similar kind of exit clause that we almost had to use before when our providers were not meeting our standards, so that if it turns out not to be practical or possible, what happens then? We rebid,
There's probably several options. Obviously, we want to try to work with the vendors, but there is no incentive for a firm to say they can do it and then not be able to do it. There's just no incentive to do that. There's just far too much investment to go down that path. These contracts, again, in the past, it was based on bids alone. It was price-based. The board, after looking at service issues and everything else, we wanted to not just look at price itself. Price was not it wasn't the only determinant in this. So there are provisions, our contracts all have those provisions, and it depending on how far you're into that contract, we'd have to kind of take a look at it, when it occurs. I mean, if it happens within a few months, there's probably some opportunity to revive some of the bids that, the secondary and tertiary bids that we had available. If we start getting into years later, it becomes less problematic to use the existing solicitation process, if that makes sense.
Thank you. And is it, Mr. Strummer, is this a unique case of the committee being made up of members reporting to each other, or is that fairly routine?
Yeah, so normally, we just had a committee, for example, on the equity study. And we were very careful. We typically try not to do it where we can get away with it. What's unique about this one is you have a very specific skill. You have a very specific department that handles this service. It's not, I can't put somebody from libraries on there. I can't put somebody from, another department. We really wanted the folks that were going to be responsible for administering this process or in this contract. When the board gets complaints, when the county administrator gets complaints, it's grabbing those people that the board and the county administrator are going to call to fix the problem. And they really should be the ones that are actually, because they have the most investment to make sure this gets right. It's very difficult to, within one department, not have direct and indirect reports, because what that leaves me is I just have line staff. I can have no one that supervises anybody else within a certain department. So this is rather unique, and that's why the word should is there. It was more important that we had the right folks on that committee to make the right decision.
Thank you very much. As I look at the folks on that committee, I have no reason to question their judgment or their ability to speak up in a room with each other if they had different ideas. So I hope that we will end up with the 10 out of 10 score if we move forward with FCC in that area. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Overman, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, Commissioner Smith, for your questions, because actually, since you and I ended up on this board, I think this is one of the main areas that we've wrestled with when it comes to not only addressing citizens' concerns, service issues, structural issues, and pricing. So, we come to the table with that sort of like, are we going to get this right? In looking at the various different scoring and evaluation metrics, it was interesting to see that there was a difference. And I too, having some experience in purchasing and pricing as a business owner, also recognize there is a tendency to think that, we'll just go in low and get in the door. That's why asking the question is, what are our options? Because we've wrestled with them, over the last 3 years. What are our options when it appears as though in this process that the proposal was underbid? And that's a concern. But based on the professionals that have gone through this process, I'm comfortable with the recommendations. But I do think that, as I have done so before with our providers in this area, to put them on notice, don't show up with problems, because we don't like it much, nor do our citizens. And our job is to make sure that we're selecting the best folks for the job. So I appreciate your questions, because I had them as well. But I did want to make sure that we voice to the providers that take this service, and those that are returning, they know we mean business when it comes to making sure our citizens get the service they need. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I see no other commissioners at this time who want to address this. I'll just say that I was concerned hearing the arrangement of different staff with directors working in the procurement evaluation. And, but, you know, I also, and because I've seen that and wondered about it before, but I also see the limitations in this distinct department with regards to that. And I think that was answered to the extent that it could be in terms of the expertise and knowledge of the staff in that particular area. I see no other comments here to be made. Commissioner Myers, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Speaking as a former county employee, yes, in the past, the expertise on the procurement project, you would bring from that particular department where they had the expertise on award to make sure that it's coming back to the department they participated with procurement on a particular project.
Thank you. So with regards to this, do we have at this time I don't see any further discussion. Do we have a motion with regards to? Yes.
Madam Chairwoman, I believe I reserved 30 seconds for rebuttal at the beginning.
You do have 30 seconds. Go ahead, you're recognized.
Thank you very much. Madam Chairwoman, we did a public records request. There were no analytics provided to us in that public records request. I do not believe any analytics were done. The committee composition was the original sin here. It's from which all problems emanate. Nobody talked about the 22 seconds if it was safe. It was in their bid. We're not making it up. We don't have to prove undue influence. We only have to show the possibility. Your staff has all the information and we weren't allowed to question them. That is a violation of due process. And the backup to this item was 11,600 pages long. And the substance did not get until page like 10,800. They provided you 9,000 pages of every address in the county as backup to this agenda item last meeting. That's hiding something. That's putting the substance at the end of an 11,600 page backup. With that, I'm sorry, we close.
Thank you. I do find the backup being presented in that way to be difficult, to say the least, when you're trying to look through and see the substance of the item, although I did get to the substance of the item and at least some of the issues, but I think that is a point worth noting. And at this time, Commissioner Myers, did you?
Move to affirm the public hearing decision.
We have a motion by Commissioner Myers.
Second.
And a second by Commissioner Overman and Commissioner Cohen, I believe. And seeing no further discussion at this time, can we have a roll call vote?
Kemp?
Yes.
Hagan?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Overman?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you. And Ms. Wise, I guess we'll move to B7.
To B7, right, the companion item, and Scott Schomer, this is to award to the three respective highest ranked bidders.
Good morning again. Item B7, given that the board has affirmed the hearing manager's decision regarding the protest, the procurement described in item B3. B4 is asking, B7 is asking the board, the agenda item B6. B7 is asking the board to select and award agreements to the three respective highest ranked and best qualified firms or franchise collectors: Republic Services of Florida, Limited Partnership for Collection Zone Northwest at $204,694,149. Waste Management Incorporated of Florida for Collection Zone 2 in the Central at $226,602,541. And Fomento de Construcciones Contratas, I'm trying that, or we'll call them FCC for Collection Zone 3, which is South Central, for $157,743,670. Offer residential commercial waste collection services identified as service option 1 for the Solid Waste Management Division. The subject services are scheduled to begin on February 1st, 2022 and continue through September 30, 2030 at an anticipated total cost of $589,040,360. In this case, the opportunity for proposers to receive 5 bonus points by subcontracting a minimum of 10% of the ultimate fees to certified disadvantaged businesses was available. However, none of the proposers requested such points. The recommended firms all offered in their respective proposals to actively utilize Hillsborough County certified disadvantaged business firms for container maintenance, pressure washing and cleaning, employee refreshments, facility maintenance, janitorial services and supplies, public education and outreach, compressed natural gas, signage, and other services. The RFP also required the permanent full-time employees working under a franchise agreement to be paid a minimum rate equal to or greater than $15 per hour. Additionally, given its enduring link to sanitation workers, the recommended firms have agreed to add Martin Luther King Day as a holiday if the board so desires and includes the same in the motion. If the board chooses to add the additional holiday, staff will add the holiday to the agreement prior to execution by the chair. The recommended award amount is approximately $39 million and change lower than the requesting department's estimate. The recommended service level, service option 1, includes residential waste collection pickup twice a week, residential recycling pickup once a week, and residential yard waste pickup once a week. Each franchise collector will also have the right to compete with other awarded franchise collectors to provide commercial establishments with waste collection services in all 3 collection zones. With that, Procurement Services Department recommends approval.
Okay, I see no further discussion by any commissioners. Do we have a motion?
I'll second that. Can I offer yeah, I was going to say, you want
I was
to
just
finish,
going to-
finish your motion?
Move for approval with adding the MLK as a holiday.
I'll
I think
second
we
that.
were all waiting for
Yes.
that. So we have a motion, then by Commissioner Myers, seconded by Commissioner Overman. Commissioner Smith, did you have any? With regards to that. So, and seeing no further discussion, can we have a roll call vote?
Kemp?
Yes?
Hagan? Yes. I beg pardon?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Overman?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Wise?
Thank you. The next item is a staff report, and this is item G1, to receive a report regarding the feasibility of expanding the park and library in Thonotosassa. John Lyons will present the item. Andrew Breidenbach is with libraries is available. Rick Valdez is available, and Greg Horwoodell is available as well.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Lyons. Back on April 7th, the board asked us to bring back a report about the feasibility of co-locating the library with the park in Thonotosassa. Since that time, we've been looking at that, working closely with both libraries and parks on that project. And it does appear that there is a possibility that we can acquire a piece of property adjacent to the existing park in Thonotosassa to construct a new library. There's this ongoing discussions with the property owner, but at this time, we don't know what the results of those will be. And of course, any recommendations will come back to the board at a future date. Happy to answer any questions you may have, or we have other folks on board that could probably get into more details if necessary.
Thank you. And I see Commissioner Hagan, your hand is raised.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to keep my remarks brief. As I stated during our last discussion, I'm extremely excited about the possibility to create a very special destination in Thonotosassa by co-locating a much-needed library and parks amenities. I want to appreciate the work of all of staff from parks, real estate, library services. I know Greg's been working on this as well. There's still a ways to go until we determine if an appropriate location can be identified. But I'm very encouraged by the backup and follow-up email that we received from Greg last night stating that staff believes it is feasible for a joint library park facility to be constructed in Thonotosassa to replace the existing outdated Thonotosassa library and expand recreational opportunities available to residents in that part of the county. While in a couple of our other locations, Keystone, Seffner, Thonotosassa, we have both a library and various park amenities at the same location. However, this would be Hillsborough County's first planned co-location library and park project. As I stated last discussion, just like Carrollwood Village Park has become a model for passive county parks, I believe this project will be a model for future co-location projects. And it's my understanding that we may have another opportunity for a similar project in Waterset. It really makes a lot of sense, not only because there's such a need, but by proactively planning a co-location project, it provides an excellent opportunity to maximize the benefits of both amenities for a community that desperately needs it. Significant cost savings will be recognized by leveraging both assets. This includes reducing overall land cost, shared parking areas, common stormwater system, and other utilities. Programming and activities and use of facilities can be managed better and more efficiently and collaboratively. We can consolidate park activities on one side instead of using a split site as currently exists. And the fact that it's adjacent to Thonotosassa Elementary, it's a great opportunity to enhance both educational and physical activities. Again, I know a lot more work needs to be performed by staff to determine if a location can be identified that makes sense. However, I do want to point out that both library services and parks directors are very excited about this project's potential. And Andrew has the project fully funded in his fiscal year 22 budget. So funding's not a concern with respect to library services. For today, I don't believe any action needs to be taken other than to accept the report. So I'm going to move that we accept the report and just say I look forward to receiving updates from staff on their due diligence.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Overman, seconded by Commissioner Hagan. I see no discussion. We just received the information on where the area is and haven't really gotten a chance to really understand it, but I'll just repeat a little bit about in the past I've wanted to, and I know that co-locating a park and a library seems like that could be a good idea. I really do want to make sure, though, that within the community plan of Thonotosassa and in the layout that the library, if built on the anticipated spot or on this spot, if this is where it's secured, that it is something that contributes to the, I know each of these places have town centers. I wasn't able to pull that plan, but contributes to the structure and placemaking and integrated into the community there in a way that's can appreciate Thonotosassa. So I just want to put that word in at this point. And seeing no further discussion, we have a motion by Commissioner. Yes.
Miss.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Overman, you're recognized.
I'll keep this brief because I do have more questions and more understanding as this project evolves. I do see that the piece of land that previously was identified for the library would revert back to the school system if that's was a note that talked about reverter. And I was like, I'm not familiar with that term. What does reverter mean? But it's my understanding that would go back to Hillsborough County School Board, correct? Is that what that term means?
So that is a term, yeah, and you may hear it from time to time. We have a few properties that we do own that have these reverter clauses embedded in them.
Okay. I do like the idea with this being co-located not only with the park but also near the elementary school, which is what, when I was looking at the illustrations, that looks like a school. That's got to be a school. There's got to be a school there. And as a person who lives next to a school that's across the street from a library, the win-win-win-win that happens when a library is close to a school is not really measurable, but it makes a huge difference for children in that community. And having it next to a park where recreation activities would occur also is a huge opportunity. So I could see this being a nice solution and look forward to hearing more about the project. I'll stop there.
Thank you. And seeing no further discussion, can we have a roll call vote?
Kemp,
Yes?
Hagan,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Overman, Smith,
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you. And I believe we're on to future discussion items. This may be a record, even.
I think so.
For me, since 2016, it might be. I'm not sure. And with that, if we don't take up another hour, Commissioner Myers, you're recognized.
I'll try to make this less than an hour and a half.
Good job.
Okay, the future item, to direct the county administration and county attorney's office to work on a policy that includes staff to participate in community events such as the TOBA Leadership Breakfast, the NAACP Freedom Dinner, MLK Parade, Tampa Pride Parade, and Gasparilla Parade, to just to name a few, and can give us a report back at the August 18th meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And are there any other future items? Hearing none, we're adjourned at what time? Let me see my, here, 11:25 a.m. That's one for the records, I think.
Yes. Thank you all.
Thank you.